What's up, everybody? This is the Toy Photographers Podcast, episode 3. Special guest with us today. He's coming all the way from New York, Jesse Meli, also known as the Neronian. What's up, Jesse?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm just looking forward to our conversation.
Hey, same here.
What kind of camera are you using, and what kind of lens are you using for your current setup?
Right now I'm using a Nikon D3400, which is a beginner body, and I'm using a 40 millimeter. It's a Nikon lens.
Nice. So,
Yeah,
did you choose that yourself?
that was actually it was half me and half my 30th birthday gift. So
Nice.
that's what that was. I had a Fuji hand me down before.
So you got gifted a Fuji and then you kinda stepped up to this next camera. Did you notice the difference?
Yeah, totally, because the Fuji was like a fixed lens. It wasn't like a cool pix, but it was like a I don't know, but it had a fixed lens on it,
Yeah.
and the lens I think was like up to like 200 millimeters, went from 35 to 200 millimeters.
Okay.
The difference was in the like being able to remove the lens immediately. And I didn't know too much about my camera when I first got it, and it wasn't until Shake 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick messaged me and he was like, "Hey man, you need to get off the automatic." It's something that I hadn't done yet, and he's like, "It looks really grainy. This is how you do it. You need to get a tripod, use a timer or remote." And I was like, "Okay, okay, I'll do it." And like he sat with
Nice.
me for like an hour, just for me to get like the basic low light settings,
Oh,
which was
wow.
really nice of him to do.
Yeah.
It's not often that people are gonna do that for you.
Kudos to Shake 'em. Awesome, man.
He's a great guy.
That's what I like to hear, man. People that just reach out and help you step up your toy photography game. Are you planning on keeping that setup for a while, or you wanting to upgrade again?
I plan on upgrading at some point. I wanna get, mirrorless. I was looking at the Sony, but in a way, I wanna stay Nikon because I don't wanna buy the adapter for the lenses because the lenses I have are fine. 2 were kit lenses and one is not a kit lens. Oh, yeah, I also have a 50 millimeter, but, it doesn't work in automatic with me, it's just manual, which is fine. One day, I might upgrade. I was looking at the Nikon mirrorless camera that they have. I don't know the model name. It was, like, the only one they had at, Best Buy a couple weeks ago, which it seems like it does the same things as Sony, just maybe a little less. Um, I really like that Sony because, like, the idea is that, the more ISO you have in at nighttime, the more grain you have.
Yeah.
The Sony, you can, like, lose that grain. And I
Right.
have I have a lot of friends that use it. Spencer Sweatpicks uses it, Sergeant Bananas, Johnny uses it,
Yeah.
who else? My buddy Mike Dilemma, who's a, touring photographer for bands. I think he did recently he's done Intervals, The Contortionist, Behemoth. What was there's a gosh, it was, I think it was Memphis Mayfire that he was with this most recently. And he was using a Sony A7 Mark II, which is a nice, it's a nice camera. I really enjoy, like, the fact that you can just bump up that ISO, get a clear picture, and the grain is basically almost invisible to the
Right.
eye.
So for everybody that's not, like, really familiar with toy photography, and for people that are just using their cell phones, maybe to take pictures, what would you say is the biggest benefit of getting, like, a higher end camera? Just the baseline benefit.
You have to use your brain more once you figure out how to go automatic or go manual, I mean. Once you go on manual, like, there's a lot of experimenting that happens in those moments. There's always someone around who will answer a question that you have about, being in manual and shooting in manual for everything. There's always gonna be somebody, and, people can come to me if they want to. I'm sure Shakem won't have a problem with it. He's just crunched on time. Benefits, definitely low light. Low
Yeah.
light settings, are definitely a benefit.
Yeah.
I know that the new iPhone's coming out, and that'll be good for people that wanna shoot in low light. But it's not really, I don't really necessarily, even when I shot with a camera or a camera on my phone, I wouldn't necessarily use low light. I'd use flashlights in like corners and bounce it off of walls, um, which always made sense and it worked out pretty well.
Nice.
Um,
Okay.
so it's like it depends on what you want. I really don't mind photos on a cell phone. I don't mind it at all. I used to do it. Other people did too. Basically, if you want to get a camera, go with a beginner one because that way you'll know that you want to continue doing it because there's a lot of hard steps and it's like there's a lot of thinking and critical thinking that you have to do once you have it.
Right.
I didn't have that critical thinking at first with the camera because I was just like it was like imagine my mind was like a glass box.
Yeah.
Once I got the camera, it kind of like exploded because I was like, I don't know what to do. I really didn't know what to do. But you'll be able to create magic with it.
Yeah. Yep, that's
You
true.
really
And
will.
something that you just made a great point is like if you have a cell phone, you have the ability to do toy photography and there's no excuse other than your creativity.
Yeah.
And I started out myself, starting taking pictures with my cell phone for the first couple years, and I actually got an interview with CNN.com. They reached out to me and liked my content. I got it. It was back a couple years ago when they did the May the 4th article, and me and Trevor Williams, also AKA 16 Shooter, got an interview, and man, that was just with my cell phone. So
Mm.
the sky's the limit, man. And I never really mentioned the fact that it was a cell phone, so people were like, "Oh, they probably assumed it was a nicer camera." But, like I said, just, start with what you got and just work at it and work at it and work at it, and if you enjoy it, if you love it, if this is something you love to do, it's gonna be a joy. So that's awesome, man. So what really got you started then in toy photography?
Yeah, I was in college, so I went to school for audio engineering. Um, and there was an article, I can't remember where it was from, and I'm sure the dude will tell you. I He doesn't really know of my existence. Galactic Warfighters. He was a Marine, and I'm pretty sure he was a Marine or Navy SEAL. And he was doing these photos with these clone troopers that popped up in my feed one day, and or not one day, but it popped up on like an article on Twitter, I think, and it kind of went kind of viral, and I was like, wow, this is crazy because this dude was taking these clone troopers, sideshow clone troopers, and shooting them, and he was like, he made it look like it was wartime, and it was pretty intense to me, and I was like, I want to be able to do that one day. Still haven't been able to do that, um, because he was a photographer, I think, for the Marines too, or at least he just had his camera there and he was shooting photos.
Oh, wow.
So it was like, like he saw it naturally, so he could recreate it naturally, and I still haven't been able to do that because I don't see it naturally, and I'm not. I've been a little lazy these days, just posting still photos, still figures, nothing too crazy. I'm still trying to work out some of my kinks with some of my posing.
Yeah.
You know, that
I
that's
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about, um as artists, all of us kind of get into maybe a rut with our flow, and maybe we're not inspired. And just the fact that you're continuing in posting and that you're being kind of like diligent with it, and even though you consider this to be not your best potential, like you said, like I'm just doing vanilla poses and I'm throwing up a figure and taking a shot, but you're still creating. So
yeah,
in that sense is you're not giving up on that passion. So even though it's not your best at the moment, but you're still it's like kinda like teaching yourself, "Okay, I can do it," but you gotta if you wanna make that, masterful shot, you wanna have to dedicate a certain amount of time to it. Doesn't mean that it's not a great shot, because you do some great shots, man, that are very simple, and those simple shots
yeah,
sometimes are they're so compelling, and I love those shots that you do that are really just have a lot of mood, and you have a lot of context in your shots that, most people, work years to get, and that's something that's, so enjoyable when we're seeing your content. So that's cool, man.
yeah.
Yeah, man, no problem. I mean, I'm always inspired when I see your shots. I know you have like a very signature style that I think everybody can kind of agree with is like, when you see a Neronian shot, you know it. You're like, "Oh, that's Jesse." It's just got a signature style to it, man. And that says a lot about, your your, passion for that
Yeah,
project.
I've been told that. I've been told that a lot, especially by Just in Case. And you know, I quit doing the toy sessions recently just because it was just like it takes up too much time. And I'm still going through Instagram and you know, I'm liking all my friends' photos. If I catch it, sometimes I'll miss somebody for like weeks on end, which I don't like doing. But I don't like missing things, but just that 1 hour at the end of the day can mean so much to me, because 'cause I'm just getting out of work and, you know, that's kinda like, it's time to clean up, make sure everything's right, get it ready for the next day. So it's like, yeah, just in case is sorry to get off topic. Just
You're fine.
has told me that, and when I was posting Marcus Phoenix, the Storm Collectibles figure, um, he said he was going through the timeline and he was like he had to do a double take because he was like, I don't remember you shooting like this before because this is a completely different style. That was actually that was something Shakem said to me too one day. He was like, "Don't you're gonna get stale if you continue to shoot the same thing over and over again."
Yeah.
And you're not only to yourself, but to your audience. But you know, there was something I noticed about those photos they kinda didn't they kinda got lost in the mix because not that many people saw them. 'Em. I'm fine with that. I don't care about the likes these days. It's not about the likes. I just wanna create and, you know, I've said this to Batman Figs and Scott before. Um, when you post and you post throughout the day, somebody could be on break from work and they see that photo, and, you know, that might be one thing that takes them out of the day because you know, some people don't have unlimited data. They're not gonna be able to watch a video or read an in you know, read a long ass interview. So they see this one tiny photo that you put up there, you know, in the Instagram dimensions, and you know, it takes them away for a second.
Yeah,
There were
I
a
love
lot of
that.
Gears of War fans that were liking those photos. A lot of my audience didn't see it, unfortunately. Um, and I'm okay with that because I wanted to create some kind of mood. And while in Gears of War they have acid rain, I wanted to create something with rain because it's something they never really saw in Gears of War. And I love Gears of War. I'm excited about Gears 5 coming out. I gotta figure out my game plan on getting that game still. Um, so it's like, um,
Yeah, man,
yeah,
I love that. I love the fact that you said, if you're not constantly, reinventing yourself, in essence, what you said is if you're not reinventing yourself, you're just kind of getting stale. And
yeah,
even though like that, Gears of War shot that you did was, like, so out of the, ordinary shot that you do, it still had a Neronian feel to it. Like,
oh yeah,
I still knew it was you when I saw it, and I was like but I was blown away. Some of my favorite shots you've done is
thank you.
that portrait you did. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, it is just it's gorgeous, dude. It's got a lot of detail, it's crisp, and it has so much, has so much emotion in that shot, man. Like, I mean, that's like you said, like when someone stops scrolling, through the middle of the day and that, helps them get through their day because they remember that one time they played through Gears of War as a kid and they're like, man, this just brings me back to my childhood. And that gives them the warm fuzzies, and all of a sudden they're like
Yeah,
getting through the rest of their day. So I mean, that's incredible, man.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'm not too concerned with any kind of fame, any of the likes, any kind of money, whatever, the free crap, whatever. That doesn't it's irrelevant to me at
mm,
this point. I just wanted to take a piece of my childhood, recreate it with my eyes, you
yeah,
know, kind of like Zack Snyder does with his movies or Christopher Nolan does with his movies.
yeah,
You know, that was something that was always interesting to me with like it's painting, but
mm,
this is we have a platform, we have people here. You know, I got to meet you off this, Sweatpig, you know, everybody.
yeah,
I know just about everybody.
yeah.
And it's really interesting seeing the things that come up and pop up on my news feed. Like that Daredevil shot you did with the rain, that was kind of why I did those gear shots with the rain.
Man, thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
I love that photo. That Daredevil shot with the extreme sets, love it.
Aw, thank you, man.
Still love it.
Thank you, man. I'm gonna blow that up and put that on my wall one day.
You
I,
should.
uh, I love that shot too, and when I actually a little funny side story is I got to meet online a guy who used to work on the Daredevil show, and he kind of, chatted with me about his experience great guy, just a really interesting guy, and he, inspired me to do that shot. So the inspiration was from the guy who actually worked on Daredevil. So,
Yeah.
um, to me, that meant a lot that he liked that shot too. And, man, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. And, I love what you said also about the fact that you're not really fueled by stuff anymore. You're not fueled by the likes or the shares, but you're really interested in creating things. And that sometimes frees you up to be able to do stuff that you've never done before. Is it's no longer about getting stuff, it's about giving. So you've kind of you've transitioned from taking stuff to creating stuff, and that's the biggest transition any toy photographer can do, is stop worrying about sponsors, stop worrying about, all of the externals, and worry about what you can give back to the community and what you can do for people. And now you're probably gonna be hooked up, with more opportunities because you're not really worried about what you can get from it. And let's go ahead and jump in that, man. You've already gotten an affiliation with a company, if you wanna talk about that, um,
Mhm.
with Extreme Sets. So let's talk about Extreme Sets and how that kinda got hooked up.
So this is really bad, and I'm sorry, Joe, that I'm saying this, but I sent Joe a message and I said, "Could I have a code, please?" And I sent him praying hands with crying faces. And I didn't know that this was gonna close this. He was like, "Let me think about this and I'll get back to you."
Right.
It's the most unprofessional thing that's ever happened. I think only Justin Case is the only person who's known this, and now I'm telling the world.
You don't get it until you ask though, right? You don't get it until you ask, so you asked.
That's how I asked. I was just like, I was thinking about it and I was like, I'll shoot more of my sets that I have. And I have those sets. I have my original sets. I have the train station and what was the other one? I can't think of it's oh my goodness, I can't think of it. Um the hallway. I have the hallway. I want to roll up on that thing. That thing is dope. Um it's just not enough time to break down, set up. I just leave my city up now. It's set up forever. So I sent him those messages and he's like, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. A day later, he reached out to me. He's like, okay, I'm gonna set up this code, use the extreme sets. So he set up the code. I have the code. Um, Joe is such a wonderful guy. He's such a wonderful guy.
Nice.
Outside of extreme sets, he has a production company and he like builds like real life 1-1 scale stuff. His most recent thing he did was for It Chapter 2. It was this nice it wasn't cardboard like car extreme sets. I don't know what the materials are, but it's just beautiful. He put it up in a story. I saw it and I was like, holy cow, this is crazy. Because he's talked about doing movie productions and going to SDCC and making booths, like interactive booths, which are really cool.
Dude, that inspires me because that's kinda like one of my dreams, is to be able to work on movies in that sense. So that's amazing. That is so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. It's so cool what he does. He's such a great guy. He is always trying to reinvent himself. So he'll have something and then he'll put something new out. And it'll have things added to it, whether it's an air conditioning unit that you can plug into the side of a building, or he's made it taller, or he's made it where there's doors you can take out. He's always stepping up his game in his business, and it's always honestly, it makes me happy to see that he has stuff that exists. I need
Yeah.
more buildings. I need like 6 or 7 more buildings. I'm building city. It's already been built. It's only in the corner. I can rearrange it, but I want to be able to shoot things from the sides. I want to like there's so much that I want to do with it because let me tell you, dude, Joe's stuff. Not only is it affordable, um, it's affordable. You can mix and match it with, Mecca or whoever you want to go to, whether it's Bone Claws, Terraformer, um, anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I agree, man. I got blessed with actually, that building, the one that you mentioned that I did the Daredevil shot with, Scott Blind sent me, the building pop-up, and
oh,
I didn't know, anything about extreme sets. I didn't really know, what it was about, and so he's like, "Hey, man, I accidentally bought another one. I'm gonna send this your way." And I was like, "Sweet." So I, took some great shots with that I'm really proud of, and, I just have to come into agreement with, like, the fact that exactly what you're saying, like, they make great quality products. They make, they make stuff that's so accessible, you know, for people that have limited space. If space is an issue, extreme sets are just fantastic, um, for, you know, people that are limited in their space. And so, yeah, man, shout out to Joe over at Extreme Sets. Man,
Yeah.
you're making great stuff. Let's transition into another topic here. So let's talk about what kind of companies you enjoy shooting, what figures that really got your attention, and maybe what the current favorite action figure you have is.
Okay, cool. I have two currents. I'll start there. I have two currents. Right now is the Hasbro Gold R from Power Rangers. Because he's just a freaking beat. He's a monster of a figure. I'm blown away by the detail he did. He could use some paint. I'm gonna say that he could use some paint. Um,
Video
Mostly,
wash, video wash.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe a little
some yeah.
yeah.
Some more gold and some wash on him, like a shiny gold, not the he has like a pale gold. I was talking to Action Figure New about it because he was like, I picked up the Gold Ranger because he looked cool. He doesn't know about Beast Morphers, nor do I. I'm probably gonna watch it once Austin St. John's on it. Um, Austin St. John's, the Red Ranger, the OG. But yeah, yeah, I'm down to watch him on TV just like I was for Jason David Frank. Um, so, I guess the gold on him is better than Gold Arms, which is unfortunate, but maybe they just needed to rush the figure out, which is totally fine. And the other current one that is my favorite is Punisher. I love that figure. I love the detail. I love John Bernthal. Um,
Which Punisher?
oh, the Netflix Punisher.
From
Netflix Punisher.
from Mezco.
Yeah, from Mezco. Yeah, that is my ideal Punisher. I just wish he had a screaming face just like everybody else.
Oh, I'm sure Old Boy will do one.
If he does, old boy hit me.
Oh boy, shout out to oh boy. Oh, shout out to oh boy. We need a
Yeah.
screaming John Bernthal sculpt. Give it to us. We need it.
Yeah, we need it. I definitely need it. And you don't have to put blood on him because I can use fake blood. I got fake blood for days. I've used it at all. I've actually thought about that, like having. You know what? I'm not going to talk about that idea because I'll just do it and I'll post it.
Okay. All right. All right.
Um,
Sweet.
so yeah, there's some things. I was talking to SCR Pics and Scott Blind about their photos, what they do with the flash and the. There's one that CR SCR Pics did with Punisher with the sniper on the roof, and he's got like it looks like blood, but it's just water, and he used light gel on his light, so it's like it made it look like it was blood in the sky and it was raining blood, which was dope because A, I like Slayer, and B, I like that. I just love that photo. And
Oh,
Scott,
wow.
uh,
I've
these are
never
the
seen this.
yeah, it's a gorgeous photo.
I'm looking at it right now, man. Dude, shout out to Steve at SCR Picks. That's an amazing shot.
Yeah, that kid's 16 years old, man.
Oh man,
16.
he's coming on the podcast too.
Yeah, he's a great kid. I love him to death.
Wow.
And there was the one that Scott did with Punisher in the van.
Oh,
I messaged Scott immediately and was like, dude, last night I took a photo that's just like this. Because like two people sent it to me, and I was like, dude, I took one just like it, and so I posted it. Or I mean, I talked to him, and I was like, hey, I didn't steal it. I just wanted you to know. I had people message me, and I wanted you to know I did this. So next time we need to work together on something like this.
oh
So
man.
one of these days, me and Scott are both we're gonna do a collab shot, which will be dope. Um,
Definitely.
yeah, I love Scott Blind to death. He's such a good guy.
Shout out to Scott Blind, man. Can't wait to get you on the podcast.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll look forward to hearing that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one, man. We actually had a great conversation today about the episode that's coming up. So look out for the Scott Blind episode. It's gonna be amazing.
Nope.
All right. So going back to you, man, where do you see toy photography going in the next 10 years?
Goodness, that's a tough question because
Let's think. Let's think sky's the limit, man. Where do you see it going?
oh, it's becoming more and more popular. I was talking to Nick about this. Um, he, the hashtag toy photography is getting drowned out, so all of our photos are getting drowned out in that. Um, right now, what I'm seeing um, seeing online is that, there's a lot of newcomers, which is great. We need to build those people up. I don't catch them at all times. Mainly because I'm not checking my phone 24 hours a day like I want to. Um, there's new people that follow me all the time, and I just miss it. I don't mean to. And then if they don't see my stuff, I try to catch up with people when they like a photo if I post it. Uh,
Right.
uh,
Do you
it's hard.
follow?
No, I don't. I really don't do that. I uh I follow a lot of people. I follow a lot of my favorite artists, uh, whether it's a comic book artist or a graphic designer or a musician. Um, and I'm not seeing half their stuff half the time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really tough unless there's a renaissance with Instagram and they kind of fix how their platform's working. So it's like if you communicate with a person or you like it, you'll see it pop up in your feed, right?
One day when I buy Instagram, I will change it, bro. Okay.
Yeah, make it back.
I'll make that.
It's really tough to say because I don't know if people will abandon ship like they did with MySpace back in the day. Because people did it with Twitter, they jumped over to Twitter. People jumped over to Facebook and left
Yeah.
MySpace completely in the dust.
Right.
Um,
And I agree, man. I agree. Like with Instagram, it's such a beast of a community. Like, I mean, there's such a wonderful group of people. Like within, there's always all these different communities that are within Instagram. So, the toy photography community is just one of millions of different communities. So, like you said, with like hashtags that get drowned out, we have to reinvent. We have to do new hashtags just to be able to kind of see everybody's content. And I think if we were to change anything, I would happily go back to the way it used to be, with just the chronological posting when you follow somebody, not this algorithm that tries to determine what you wanna see. I wanna see the people that I follow. I wanna see the people that I have, taken my little thumb and punched follow. I wanna see their posts. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the game, right? I do wanna see
right.
what they're doing. So it doesn't benefit me to follow somebody anymore, you know what I mean? It's kinda taking the power away from the follow. Um, but that's just my rant. I'm sorry.
No, you're completely right. It has taken away the power of the follow when things get drowned out. And then, you scroll through 4 photos, there's an ad. That took up realty. Uh,
Yeah. I don't mind the ads so much. I really hate it when there is none of the people that I follow on my home feed that I can even recognize. So that bothers me.
yeah.
And I started back before the algorithm, so
I've had to mute people that post more than 4 times a day because sometimes their stuff will show up.
Right. And you know what, man?
I don't even go on the home feed anymore. Like it's been probably about a year since I've actually used that portion of Instagram. All I use is for me, I go to the people that I love. I go and look at their accounts on a, daily to weekly basis. I see their shots, or what I do is I will actually look at the people who've tagged me, and I'll go and look at that way. I don't use That's just my way of doing it. I don't use the home feed because it's kind of become irrelevant at this point. Um,
It really is irrelevant. And yeah, I do that too. I do that with just in case, Minority Obsessions, Batman Figs, the Bat Collector. Um, those dudes all show up in my whatever the top thing is for people you follow.
Close friends.
Yeah, it's something. I don't even I barely talk to Scott and Lewis and Tyler that much. There's not enough time.
Right.
So it's like, and that's why it's always useful, like when people in the community post on your photo or comment on it, because that way it makes it easier for me to go through and find their gallery and look at the photos and take a minute and breathe it in, because the homepage really doesn't help at all.
it doesn't, man. I'm glad you said that. Like the more interaction leads to more interaction. So if you feel like if you're a toy photographer out there and you're like, man, no one's liking all my stuff, no one's commented, why don't you
go out there, go comment, go like, and then it'll come back to you. Because if you're not interacting yourself, people don't really want to interact with you. So, I mean, just start conversations, talk to people, man. This is one of the most approachable communities I've ever met. There's only a very few amount of people that really aren't approachable. And even them, for whatever reason may be, you know what I mean? Just find the people out there in this community who definitely have a positive outlook on it and who want to just,
Yeah,
give the
find people who want to support you too, who will support you.
yeah.
That's the most important. It's like there's a line that a friend used to say to me. It was, "You get in where you fit in," and that's what works. I've had people. There's been days where I've been so busy, and for my weekends are 12-hour days, right? So I don't have a lot of time. I'm in the gym. I've been in the gym for the past 3 years. I really don't have a lot of time. And sometimes if I'm getting, and I've been blessed for this, if I get more than 100 comments, it's hard for me to go through and say thank you in so many different ways. And I want to take the time to do it. And I want to do it all right in a moment when I get that second. But I don't necessarily have that time to do that. So I'll get anxiety from it and I'll get buried by it. I know people have gotten mad at me and unfollowed me for that because they're like, well, you get all these comments. It shouldn't be about that, man. It really shouldn't. The reason why I might get more comments is because A, they must have liked the photo. They must have really liked the photo. And B, they support me and I'm supporting them back. And I'll comment on people's photos. I really do. I go to people's photos. Yeah, I go in. Whether if it's just a quick badass with some flames, I really do mean that. I really do appreciate their art. I really do think that it's good. I think it's worthwhile. Sometimes I don't have the mental capacity or the depth to fully articulate what I actually mean by this is badass. It really, it's not a short comment. It doesn't mean, I hear that people, and I did used to get mad at when people would be like, dope, that's dope, great photo. Because that doesn't mean much. But if you think about it, some of us are actually following a couple thousand people almost. And it does take a lot out of you to just be like, here's a fully articulated reason why I love the photo. I think
Yeah.
it's great.
That's a great point, man. That is a great point because I have struggled with that myself with doing 112 Collective. Whenever anybody gets reposted and I do a repost, everyone that says thank you, I always like that comment and then I'll do just some emojis. And that's my way of saying, I got you. I'm supportive of what you're doing. And, you know, maybe some people don't appreciate that, but also I have a very busy schedule. So I like to use this as a platform to be able to just promote other people's photography. And if you think that, I have all of the time in the day just to make, like you said, an articulated comment to every single time, it's not even feasible because the interaction that we have programmed our brains into, dopamine release with likes or comments, that's the way we receive that pleasure in our brain is through likes and comments, and we feel good whenever we see that. And when we don't get it, we get maybe a little entitled and we say, well, why isn't anybody liking my shot? And like you said, man, it's like, just go out there, start liking people's shots, start interacting, just be a part of the community
Yeah,
and
okay.
just communicate. And I mean, I'm one that is very on Instagram, I would say on comments, I'm very short with my commenting because I prefer just conversation that's person to person like this. Like I get so much more out of it personally, and so that's how I give. But yeah, I mean, I totally love the fact that you're saying that and you're bringing that up. That's a great point. Um, Okay, so is there anything else, man, that you can think of that you'd like to talk about? I mean, mic's kind of open for you right now, so just go for it.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know what you know, dark side is. Dark side is. I'm wearing a dark side hat. I don't know if you can.
Oh, I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Yep, looks good, man.
I love Tom King. I love you know, I love that. You know, the thing is just you got to be kind to yourself on this on Instagram and in the world in general. And you gotta really give yourself care. You've got to sit back. You've got to relax. You've got to watch TV. You've got to go to the gym. You've got to eat. I'm only saying the gym because you get on, you do some cardio. You're gonna sit there. You're gonna listen to music, and you're gonna think about stuff. You're gonna think about what you have to do. What's your next step? You're gonna set goals for yourself. You're gonna want to be better. You're gonna want to do
Mm.
better. It's really important for people to do that. Um, with fitness for me, helped me articulate my photos better. It
Wow.
helped me think about it. When things were said, there's a really great point about something. So Sergeant Banana said this months ago. He doesn't like giving people settings for photos because, like the settings on his camera for a photo, because they won't know how to experiment. He wants them to grow. This is a really great point that he said. So I will actually give people a setting and I'll give them my low light setting, the same setting Nick gave to me. And now I've learned how to experiment with that. I fully understand. And you know what? I don't fully understand, you know, everything on my settings. I just do it until it looks good to me.
I love that.
That's all that's important. If it looks good to you, it's probably gonna look good to someone else.
I love that.
You know,
That's incredible, man. I love the fact that, you're so self-aware of that. I mean, that's incredible, man. And if you're gonna give any advice, I mean, to, like, a toy photographer that's just starting out or maybe someone that's kind of, like, struggling with their account or they're just saying, "I don't even know why I do this. I love toys, I love photos, but I'm not really gaining any traction." And, it's not necessarily about the followers because the followers come as you progress, you know what I mean? Like, as you get better, that's just what happens. As you get better and produce better content, that happens. It's not something you can really control. You can't control the followers. Because as you progress, you're gonna get more followers. It's just a matter of time if you continue in it. But that being said, what would you say to someone who's starting out, just as some advice, maybe to the Jesse that just started out toy photography years ago? What would you say to that guy right now?
have fun, shoot figures that you have an idea of. Don't just buy a figure that you have no idea about and then shoot it and then say this is something that happened. Don't do that. Have some kind of relationship with that figure, whether it's a TV show, a comic book that you read, a video game that you played. Uh, y- have some kind of chemistry with that figure. Enjoy yourself. Take your time. Experiment. Have fun. The having fun will come from the experimentation, and having fun will come from you figuring out how to do something new. Always ask questions of someone. Don't ask a million. Just be like, "Hey, how are you? Um, I have a question about this." You know, Me or someone else will get back to you. We really will. Uh, I think it's good for. This is the good thing about, if people are listening to this is the good thing about teaching, is because there you have fully learned in teaching.
Mm,
That is the most important lesson
mm.
that
I
you
love
can
that.
learn.
I love that. You actually when you teach somebody, you get to learn it again.
Yeah, exactly. You boned to
Yeah.
bond and you fully know at that time.
Yeah, I
Or
love that.
during those moments, you learn it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, Spencer reached out on the 112 Collective comment. We did a live comment asking people basically, what they'd like to know about you, man. And Spencer, he reached out. He said, "What would be your dream figure?"
Oh, it's probably. Oh man,
Any figure, any line.
he needs to hear it.
That's a big question. That's a big question, man.
I wanted Days of Future Past, Hugh Jackman, Mezco. That's what I
Ooh.
want. That's exactly what I want. I want the old man Days of Future Past motion
Yeah.
because that suit is nasty. And I know there's the Hot Toys. I know there's the Hot Toys, but you know what? I really want that figure. I've got some Sentinels, and I love those. the Sentinels that they had in those are called Omega Sentinels. I
Yeah.
don't know, you know, and those Sentinels that can like just shift powers real quick.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Did you know that there was a company that released a seamless Logan
It-
that was a 112?
Yeah, I'm worried about really worried about the skin on that figure because I know that the whole body is like metal.
Yeah.
The skeleton inside of it is like metal. Um, I'm worried that the body, depending on temperature, would start chipping away and
Did
start
you
cracking.
did you watch the Foosh's review of that?
I watched parts of it.
Okay.
I watched
He
parts of it.
he was pretty happy with it from what I remember. So man, if you want to get that figure, that's attainable. That's not a dream figure in a sense. So you could go out and go do that. You can make that figure really.
And yeah, I need that suit. I need somebody to make that suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. All right, so we're gonna close it on out, and just go ahead and tell everybody where they can, connect with you on social media, and anything else you'd like to say, man.
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna steal lines from D Amazing. Be good, do good, drink your water.
Shout out to D. All right.
He's a
So,
good guy.
where can they find you on social media?
I am at Neronian _ on Instagram and Twitter. Don't try to find me on Facebook. I don't really respond to my requests on there for friends. Uh,
All right.
goodness,
Sweet.
yeah, that's about it. You want to add me on Xbox? We can chat on there.
There you go.
That's it.
Yep. If you want to go chat with Neronian, go hit him up, man. He's a great guy. He's a great follow, and just support his content because I definitely do. And you can find me at Dagobah_days. That's my personal account. You can find also my 112 Collective feature page at 1.12.collective. And you can also find the Toy Photographers podcast at ToyPhotoCast. So everybody, we're closing it out. Remember who we are. We are storytellers. So be good, do good, drink your water. Later, guys.
See ya.
See you.